Hi there. So now I'm almost a builder now. For the last couple of days, I've been working on the eco house, and it's come so far that the people at the museum that this house is going to be or is being built at, where I'm doing it, are serving me beer when I'm relaxing and not wine anymore. That's just I used to be a white collar guy, but now they changed their perception. They think I'm a blue collar guy. I don't really care. I just do whatever needs to be done to get this house finished. And the big, let's say, anticipation for me is to see tomorrow that the solar panel is put on and the solar collector is put in and connected. The guy that's going to do that had to reschedule that event, and there's only 2 days to do it until the weekend when the day of sustainability is. So it's going to be exciting when that actually happens. So it's done. I also was interviewed by television, so this is a little bit of my experiences today. I've been screwing on tiles on the roof tiles, and making door posts and doing adobe and wood coverings on the outside, and it's all in the rain and in the wind a little bit because it's crap weather in Holland. We had a gale force 7 yesterday night, a storm, but the Strawbale house stood firm. Which makes me think that there's that this tale of the 3 piggies with the 3 houses and the bad wolf that blows away the Strawbale house, it either was like an enormous wolf, but we have to research that, I think, or the construction was really not that solid of this pig. But you know, who would expect pigs to build solid houses, of course. But on days like this, you come home and like go to YouTube, and then it would be nice to have like Alex Jones ranting, because I'm clearly noticing that I'm not really that eager to blog about renewables with my arms painful and stuff like that from drilling and hauling beams and stuff like that. But it would be nice if you could for once script Alex Jones. That would be fantastic, I think. So basically write a script and then let Alex Jones rant about it. So and different topics. So he would be ranting about the dumb numbskulls of Texans that are now seeing their houses burned to the ground because of their own ignorance in denying the fact that global warming is happening, and not wanting to respond while they live in a very sunny state where they could have free energy for all without any hassle. And they have lots of wind as well, and they're trying, but they're not trying hard enough, and it's just so that Alex Jones would be talking about that. That would be like fixing the pundits. I'm really not clear, or I'm actually quite clear. There has to be a political agenda behind Alex Jones not acknowledging global warming, or he's just, and that's what I always think, he's just somebody that tries to whip up whatever controversy can be there. So he's trying to catch all the cynical skeptics, all the paranoid people in the public that will wonder whether there's a camera in every laptop that spies on you, and the FEMA camps are being built with incinerators, and Homeland Security knows your PIN code and stuff like that. Not to diminish him, I always say he's a shill because he doesn't effectively lead. Somebody that does do that in a way, and at least has a very interesting guest this show, is Max Kaiser. He has this painter of the guy this painter that painted the Chase Bank with flames out of the roof. A very iconic image it can become, and it will become, I think, because he is going to make a lot of them. So he basically recognized that here's an opportunity. He can sell these paintings. He was the first. He basically painted imaginary riots, which is an interesting concept, as a sensitivity to the signs of the times, and now he's painting burning banks, of course. And the nice thing about artwork and these types of visualizations is that they don't really go in a lot of details of what's being said. They just show you a burning bank, and then you can fill in the blanks, which I think reaches a much wider audience and is much more easily iconic and a pivot point, like intellectually and mentally, than a blog post of any anybody writing about it. It's so easy to make a painting of a burning bank, or let's say the the way to communicate with an image like that is so easy. And the nice thing about it's an oil painting with linseed oil is that it is a human message. I think that's a very recognizable thing about it. You cannot have an oil painting; it doesn't drop out of a machine. It's not printed. It's not stamped or anything. Somebody has made that, took time, and put effort in it, and that makes it more meaningful. I think that is immediately recognizable as a human message. Somebody sent that message. They said, well, might be a portrait, might be a painting of a war, might be Guernica, but you know that somebody felt what he was painting. Or, like, if you want to make it a little bit dramatic, but that's 100% certain with a oil paint, especially with an oil painting, because these things don't dry very fast. So you have to watch out a lot what you do. You can make them in a day, but you have to be very careful about that process, because you disrupt it very easily. It's very difficult to make oil paintings. My grandfather did it, and he worked on it all his life, and he became a very good one. But oil painting and portraitist. But it's not easy. So I think that there's two aspects of this whole painter thing that makes it interesting and important, I think, and very sensitive of Max Gijzer to interview him. That is, one is that it's about actual events right now, so it can be an icon, and the other one is that you can recognize it. It's human product, and that makes it much more meaningful, I think, as an art object. But that's always the thing with oil paintings. They immediately, if they're actually oil paintings and they're not acrylic paintings, makes them immediately more interesting to own and to become art. And I have my own definition of art. Art is whatever people want to protect. So a toilet bowl can be art if people want to protect it, but as soon as they break down their house and they dump the toilet bowl in the container for disposal, then of course it's clear that it wasn't art. While the little statue of Rodin or whatever that was in the living room will not be thrown in the container for disposal, because that is art. It will be protected, and these paintings will be protected. This guy's painting, so that makes it art in my interpretation. So. Very interesting, Max Gijzer. I think so. That makes Max Gijzer a better, let's say, more sensitive speaker. But that he has always been that. It's just there's different guys, and they kind of shake hands across the YouTube media spectrum, and sometimes appear in each other's shows. And I don't have I think Alex Jones should be should be corrected. Let's say. It's interesting, and I just don't know enough about it, but I should look into it. This whole developments between the fact that, or about the fact that the UK has completely messed up its relationship with Libya. It basically doesn't have an official government institution that can be trusted by Libya, because Libya has seen two sides and the duplicity of MI6, I believe, and MI5 and the government over the last decades, and the new rulers are people that have suffered under that. They have suffered under British punishment, which was actually described as a kind of as a coincidence by one of the diplomats of England, because there was a documentary about Libya, and it was described that of course you had the Lockerbie bombing and Libya was blamed, and then Libya was a complete pariah on the international stage. And this diplomat said, well, yeah, and that basically happened, and then of course Gaddafi tried to fix that by offering oil and doing all kinds of reasonable things, and we basically we just didn't want to be bothering ourselves with that, so we basically ignored it. It's like somebody, standing outside the restaurant knocking on the window and let me in. It's a nice guy, but you're eating and you just don't want to be bothered. very lazy attitude towards that, very cruel basically. It's very cruel to ignore somebody that wants to be in. When I heard that at that time that this documentary was shown, I thought, well, no, it's actually on purpose, because you want to basically save the oil of Libya from being distributed anywhere. And if that means you yourself don't have a good relationship with Libya, so you're not going to get the oil yourself, you just guess, or you just gamble that by the time Libya's oil becomes important enough for people to break through this whole barrier and try to end the stalemate and the ignoring the country, that you will be on the front row. And now it seems that that might not be the case. It might be that Libya doesn't really want to deal with the UK for oil. I'm not sure whether that's the case. So I didn't look into it enough, but I'll put a link to the video of Russian TV beneath this one. I think it's interesting. And that's it, I think, for now. It's long enough. And building a straw bale house is a very easy process. If you want to have a house, you can either pay hundreds of thousands of euros for it, or you can pay about 5,000 euros for it, and you make it out of straw. And even in Holland, where it's very wet, it's very easy to imagine a successful construction of a straw bale house that's not going to rot away or do anything, because you can protect it with plastic, and you can protect it with a good foundation so that the water from the ground doesn't come up and stuff like that. And building itself is not an easy process. It's very painful, but it gives I think a type of experience that you don't usually have if you are into abstract things like economics and finance and internet, like I am. And the environment and renewables, I do some hands-on stuff, but not very much. Basically, hands-on stuff means that your hands will hurt. That's what I can conclude, because even if you do electronics, you're constantly prying and doing with wire and soldering and stuff like that, and you will also hurt your hands. Anyway, complete random observations. I hope you enjoy them or have some use for them, and have a good evening, and talk to you later.